Good morning, and it is the crypto day morning for today's date, in that of Sunday, 16th of December, 2018. All bets, trades, and of the like within one's own risk and, of course, their own reward. And today, let's talk about Bitcoin on multiple time frames, and then Litecoin thereafter that. We'll move that or across next into talking about trading other base markets other than Bitcoin, go over some that are available, and how to trade coins that you're never going to find or you cannot find as a base market, and how to trade them against other alternate coins, and then take a look at a few other coins as well. So within Bitcoin on the daily term, and whenever I move time frames around, there's the list of times that I have, 1 minute all the way up to the monthly. So obviously this is a downtrend. If I just go to a new time, you can see that it's the 4 hour up top. But within such, and these ads are getting really annoying on here. I've supported them within a package for 1 year before, and then it stopped a few weeks ago. And then the ads would rarely come up, which was nice, like once or twice a day. Now they're coming up every 5 or 10 minutes. So we'll see how often they come up during this particular video. Hopefully that would be the only time. But I'll talk more about that later on. I got a lot to go over here. So within this, we can see that after the leg lower in the area of about 3,300 down to 32 and a half, it had the leg lower in here, and the leg lower had some support, hit around 31 and a third, and a decent but not that large amount of a pierce above the not only the key 3,000 but even the exact number, which is closer to 3,100, but a little under that. Since this point, we got up to the 18 average on 2 periods, staying within it, and this one with how much time left remaining? 3 hours left, so it's a quarter of the way in, just holding amongst the gain that, of course, happened over 8 hours ago because it happened on this particular period. Single hour time frame within this market. There's the multiple hit bottom, correctionary move, and this is a spot where it passes it with flying colors, because on the next eventual test or play after that, it made the statement of attempting to break out via that of breaking above the 18 average of highs, when of course it was in a down move before, establishing this level of resistance. And then after that, it passes another correctionary move via having the red candle down and 2 periods just hanging in there within the 18 average of highs. Breaking out was an attempt to make a leg higher. It succeeded amongst its mission, because its high, albeit not that much higher, was still noticeably higher here than the previous one. And now another 18 correction has taken place, and so far it's looking like it's passed, because for the first red period, or from the red period down, and the next 3 green periods, correcting amongst the 18, but the last couple of periods making another statement that it wants to make a leg higher, and it still hasn't gotten above this line in here, and it's still holding it. So the statement is made. Obviously the 18 average of lows is going to remain big levels of key support amongst this market. And even here we can see you have this move. This is a spot where it's really big to break out, and correctionary moves on this 18 highs, 18 lows. So the 18 lows right now on this level here, 32 and a third. So that's only 7 basis points, because overall the volatility has been quite low with Bitcoin, because some of the predictions that I made have been true. And there we go, another ad that's just getting annoying. And I know it's all part of it, but I think advertisement's good in the sense I'm a buyer for different things. Show me what I want, but don't keep on showing me what I don't want over and over. However, with that being said, I predicted that breaking 6,000 we go to 3, so that's pretty much been correct. Now, whether that will be a key level of support or Fibonacci will work the way it will, time will only tell amongst that. But also stating that I expect altcoins to go down if this goes down, and then when Bitcoin reverses, I'm expecting altcoins to go back up again and then overperform Bitcoin. When this event happened, it was buy order city for myself. as a lot of the altcoins were going down, and to a much, much lighter degree. When this move happened, altcoins didn't really go down, at least the way they did back in here, as far as their percentage moves. And over the last little while here, altcoins have been mainly going down, but by no means have they in masses been going down at large percentage moves. And lately, well, we have, let me just bring up, if I can bring up the coin market cap. And this is the 1 day time frame. I have a Fibonacci level for 98, and this is the bottom right now, barely over the psychological 100 number. And interestingly, if I'm ever playing something where a key number is 98, which is going to be the case with Bitcoin, then I kind of would be looking to do a buy order at 100. And the reason why I say that kind of is the case with Bitcoin is because as 3100 is a 38.2% fib down level, a 61.8% level is a hair below 1,000. So I'd be looking to buy a hair above 1,000 for something like that. Moving on to Litecoin, and the fact that it's $26 per coin says how much it has been beaten down and the potential upside that this has. But the question is, from when and from what low will it have the upside from? At the current time, it's been down to 22 and change as its current low, and it's had a green candle rally up to the 18 average of highs. That's the second place, and which it has been in here. And we'll see how this plays out. It's got to get above the 18 average, of course, to have its correctionary move, and or it's got to get to above the. Let me say that again. It's got to get above the 18 average to attempt. This is what I was trying to say. Attempt a rally or a reversal of that of trend. This is only gonna help sideways move the band, thus move it more into a neutral base. Back to that single hour time frame. This happened just at once, 9 p.m. Eastern time. As we can see, it had its move. It has corrected through time, albeit not to the 18 average of highs, but man, that's a solid correction nonetheless, because that's why I like the 18, to grade it or notify it when it's in that correctionary mode. But this is a spot where if this just happens to have a nice, beautiful move higher from like this period on, or the really very soon, then it would not touch this 18, but close enough. And I realize that if this thing breaks out above this high, this thing has the potential to go, but it already did break out above this high, because this is the level of resistance. So therefore, if you're looking for a clear break, there might be a chance you've bought in or near that high at 26 2/3. And if you do so, well, this is normal to have correctionary moves like this, but short term, you look at this on the 15, I say this is a pretty good large area. This is where it has to hold because the statement's been made. So whether it takes several periods or not, but it really does need to hold this little key area in which it came from, so that on any type of bounce higher, then I'd be looking for significant gains up. And another way is say you did buy in here, that is where you put your stops if you're playing that kind of game. Here, and of course that's always your decision and important within your own risk and your own reward. But you got to do what you got to do, as they used to say on a 90s sitcom, in living color. Changing the cross now against that of Bitcoin, and the 008 now, which puts the ratio of Bitcoin at Litecoin at 125 to 1. After it was around 140 before, but going from the 0.007 to the 008 handle, a gain of a little over 10% from the lows, and correctionary move comes up to the 18 lows, continues on up to the 18 highs, and a huge move breaking out past this. And I've been talking about this before, saying, hey, you know what, this has the potential to get going, and sure enough, it breaks this resistance and pop, it just has its move. So really no surprise. Those that say technical analysis doesn't work, well, again, I think it's just not understanding how to use the technical analysis, and there are multiple ways of using such. So same thing here, not finding support at the 18 highs, but you know what? You can pretty much tell that it's got this trend line is working very, very well. Now, when this happened, I immediately checked to see if I traded against Bitcoin, and I did. And I did so near the 8 handle, 799. Then I checked to see, because I'm trading coins with Litecoin being the base, how many coins? Did I buy a few coins? And then I took a look. And on Cryptopia, if you push this button in here, then it will tell you what your recent trades or moves are, or what orders you place, what orders you delete. And if nothing happens, it will say no new notifications. But we've seen here, 23 minutes left, I bought some Komodo for Litecoin. And then 22 minutes ago, at that time, I bought some QTOM for, again, such. I bought some Zen, and then it took a couple orders to get some Smart, all within a time frame of 7 minutes of each other. And when I'm looking to buy low, sell high with Litecoin, one of the better ways I think of doing such is having Litecoin as a base currency. For then, when you have moves like this occur, you're going to want to sell Litecoin. Not all of it, and definitely only small amounts of it. But the reason I do it this way is I'm buying all these altcoins, thus I'm selling Litecoin. What's going to happen if, say, the next big move is something like coming back to where it came from? Like something like that. Well, then I'm going to be selling altcoins and buying Litecoin. And that's what I'm going to want to do if it goes back down. Yeah, I'm going to want to sell here and buy back there. That's generally the way it's going to want to go. And that trading pairs allows you to do that, because what's going to happen is so many coins, like the ones I've shown, definitely like the Komodos and the QTOMs, they never went down. It was Litecoin going up that made their price go down. And that same would be true if this were to happen. If it comes back to where it came from, then it wouldn't be other coins going up for me to sell. It would be Litecoin going down. Now, when this happened last year, it was phenomenal, the results that I got. As we can take a look, this is December. This is again the weekly time frame. You can see it up top, and you can also see it up here. This move here first happened, and it was just a bombardment of me selling other altcoins and acquiring other Litecoin. And then what happened here was Litecoin rallying. And all of those, every single altcoin I pretty much had against Litecoin was a buy. Every single one. And I've shown how many happened in like a 7-minute period. To show you how many, I know how to find it fast, but it takes some time. But the amount of coins that I had that traded amongst a 1, 2, 3 hour period on the heyday of this move, and it was a 2-day period move, one day being more phenomenal than the other. It was literally everywhere after that, just phenomenal. But what happened on the top? Well, the top occurred. Let me just, I meant to scroll it over. I have to push a button to do that. There we go. This top occurred on December 11th week. And the alternate coins went up for a good 3-4 weeks after that. So during the time Litecoin here didn't go up and it just stayed sideways, I was selling altcoins because they were going up against Litecoin. So that is the real basic part of it. Now, as far as, I'm going to go over 4 exchanges, Bittrex, Binance, Poloniex, and Cryptopia, and show the base currencies that they offer. And the Binance coin, you can trade on Binance. Bitcoin, pretty much everywhere. Although there's some exchanges that pretty much only deal with Ethereum. However, Dogecoin, you can trade as a base on Cryptopia. Ethereum, not on Cryptopia, but pretty much everywhere else. Litecoin on Cryptopia. The New Zealand dollar, it's an NZDT, actually, the tether for them. I've never ever bought or sold it, but it's there. But you can trade it on Cryptopia. I think those are more likely. It's better for New Zealand people, I would think, on that one. United States dollar tether is pretty much available everywhere. But I got O, which is a different kind of US dollar, which all these other exchanges are doing. You gotta buy, you can trade it amongst other different key stable currencies. Now, I'm not too sure, not against Binance, if this is actually accurate or not. I know Bittrex has 2 USD markets, as does Poloniex. So this one here may not be such, but Monero is even available as a base currency on Poloniex as well. But what happens if there's coins that you really, really like, and you want to trade them against other altcoins? Of course, you can trade them against these ones on the base currencies if they're at least available amongst the trade. But if they're not, or you got coins like Gigabyte, or especially the ones that are like the lower ranked ones that aren't as popular. Cardano doesn't have any major exchanges, and I'm playing big on XBY. I could trade XBY against Siren token and against all the other ones. For now, I'm trading XBY against Bitcoin, Doji, and that of Litecoin. But if I wanted to trade against other ones, it can still be done. And to do this, you need a spreadsheet, some sort of other computer program, or even using the old school notepad, accounting papers and such can most certainly do the trick as well. And what you want to do is you want to calculate the altcoin price versus the desired based altcoin, and then you're going to have to trade it via Bitcoin to make things happen. For example, let's just assume you got a lot of DGB, Gigabyte, and you want to sell it high, buy it low, and work it within other altcoins as well. Well, then let's just assume you're doing one with Cardano, ADA. You need to have a lot of altcoins versus, or say DGB, in comparison to your ADA holdings. But right now, ADA, let's just say ADA was 902 and DGB is 250. You got a price of 3.608 when you divide this by this. So maybe you have a sell order at 4 and a buy order in at 3. And therefore, when the price reaches that target, or better for that matter, then you can buy, well, say if it goes down to 3, you would buy Gigabyte against Bitcoin. And then the amount of Bitcoin that you would buy this with, you need to sell it to Cardano. So your DGB would go up, your Cardano would go down, and your Bitcoin numbers really shouldn't change too much or anything at all. And then, of course, the opposite action if it would go up, and that is one way in which you can do so. And then, assuming you did buy it at 3, well, now you might put a sell order in for maybe 360 and buy it back in at 250. Do it as you wish with your desired volatility, how you want to play it. But it can be done, and in such, you can increase your portfolio. You can increase your amount of base currency that you have. Okay, I want to make sure that every coin is worth so many DGBs, or if you're playing another one, and so on and so forth. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these coins. I can't get smart on the trading view, but I can get these other 3. So let's take a look at Komodo, Qtum, and Zen next. And within Komodo, it's still hanging in there within the 18 after coming up to the 18 average of highs, now falling down on the 18 of lows. Looking at this at the hourly time frame, as we can see, this was 1900 hours when this all happened yesterday. Komodo really didn't go down too much, although it was going down. And it was the one I was waiting to buy, but because I only had a few coins that it bought, they were the ones that were pretty much already down a bit ready to buy. It just secured the deal, basically. Within Horizon, or ticker symbol ZEN, here's a 1900 timestamp. So same thing, it was going down a bit, waiting to buy. It secured the deal. Good buy now, because it's obviously went up from this point. And looking at this short-term analysis within the single-hour time frame from the low, it's established a level of resistance, nice correctionary move, and it's leaving the band. So maybe this thing might have the wheels to get going. It's been in a major downtrend, keep that in mind, but whenever it's ready to have a play and a good move, the next good big move I would think would be the 18 average of highs. That would come in at about 1430 or so, which is a differential of 110, or about 8% further from where we stand if such an event takes in place. And that's a potential area for resistance. We can see with Litecoin, It was a potential resistance area, and it went above it to make a statement on its market or its chart. So that is Zen. Let's move on next to Qtum. And as we can see on the daily time frame, nice little setup. I got my buyback from the move that went higher on the single hour time frame. For such, we can see how at 1900 hours it was most certainly a time for buy. I was waiting for quite some time, and obviously it finally came into place as a buy. And let's look at Smart next, but before we do, I play everything worth 2.5 Bitcoin, which means with Komodo. I sold Komodo beforehand, and at a price, at an artificial price, but real price for price only pays. Therefore, when the price came back down to this point level, I would have been worth 1.92-ish Komodo, at Litecoin that is. So therefore, I would have bought 0.58, and at that price point, it was worth 2.5. Same thing with Qtum, as it would have been worth about a little under 2, 1.96, and the 8.2 would bring it back to 2.5. Zen, not on a buyback. It was this. I can't play for as large volatility, but if you look at the numbers here, if I'm selling for say 0.5, if I'm doing a 0.5 number, that means the market has to go from 25 to 20. So it has to lose 20% of its value. Really, that's normally when I'm playing for like 13% losing its value against Bitcoin and 12% and I'm buying back. But a Litecoin, my lowest is really in this area here, like close to this. Now with this one here, we can see it took 2 orders to fill this in, 0.617 and 0.06. That represents like 0.68. And my order only got partially filled. It never did completely get filled. And let's take a look at Smart. And I am looking for major volatility here because it's showing this for me. Let's go to CoinMarketCap and take a look at its chart. So we'll put in Smart Cash. Make this log scale. This is the entirety of its chart. So it goes down and has its up move, and it's been going down ever since. And thus you can see it's made a statement that it wants to revert the trend. I can't show you the 18, but it's obviously went above it. The rally it's had from this low is pretty good, as it has went from this low of 242 Satoshi, 240, up to this point here at around 700. But all I've been doing from that low is sell, 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 sell. So if I get several sell order fills in a row, I go from looking to a 20% pullback, 30% pullback, 40% pullback. As within my orders, on December the 8th, 8 days ago, I sold it at around the 60,000 handle. Then I sold some at 70 on December the 10th. Later that day at 73, as the prices were able to go higher. Oftentimes I'll just check the market, see what's available. If there's a fair price, I'll just take it. So that might have happened with this, with one of these numbers, or I might have increased my bid offer. The next day on December the 11th, I sell at 81.4. And then I sell again at 100. I'm like, man, this is crazy. I love these sell orders though. And then it goes down, probably because I was selling for well more than it was worth, and I was playing the bid ask game, or 91 was available and I took it. Then I sold at 96, probably because I was able to do so, and I did. And when I was buying back on the 70, I was trying to probably buy back at around like 48, but then the numbers would go up. So therefore, to buy at 57 after selling at 96, 100, we'll put this at an average of say 95. I'm not showing the amounts here, but we'll just put that in the 90s. Then selling at 80, 73 and all that. I mean, this number is even lower than the first place that I sold. But the bigger percentage moves that you can have, well, that's really more profitable, because Well, just the mathematics on it. And plus, a general rule of thumb is the more weaker of a coin, weaker as in a ranking and market cap, the larger the moves it's going to have, and the larger volatility you can trade them with amongst the base coins. No exception to that for no limit coin too, which had its statement move, correcting it very nicely and productively for 2 days, breaking out amongst today's session. So 4-hour term time frame. We got plays in here. We got this in here. And this thing might be ready to go. As far as its move, it's went from 140, very low prices, still low at 232, but it hasn't yet had a doubling of its price action. It is potential for big gains, but within the statement that it made among the daily. Long sideways consolidation of boringtivity. I don't think that's a word, but I just used it. Boringtivity. Green candle up, 2 going sideways. This thing, who knows where this can go? It could have a fast move to 433. And I know I don't got the, let me just go back in here and get a better chart or more data and a better log chart. So its entire chart looks something like this. The original start goes down. Nice up move, beautiful up move. When you look at the volatility, 13 Satoshi. Let's think about this for a second. 13 up to, it says 10,000. I was getting better sells than that, but even still, to consistently be getting, you were consistently getting like 6, 5, 7, 8,000 for many times as well. Pulls back down to under 1,000, and then it rallies in here to well over 2, and then it's been pulling back ever since. So now it's making a play at a possibility. Is this going to be the low? Question mark. Maybe. Highs and lows are known after the fact, because every single time it had this rally or question mark. Oh, is this a bottom? Are we going to have a good rally now? Well, the answer all the time previous was not yet or no. And I don't know what the answer now is. But you could be saying back here, are we going to get going? No. And then it just happens. And that's the whole point for my strategy. If I'm holding these, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, where I am. As long as I own a particular coin, if it has this move, then I'm going to be participating, of course, in the activities and such, which is selling such when the up moves happen. So it could have the potential to go a long ways. And if we look at this, this is a low of like, say, 150. That's juggernaut, some Fibonacci upside. So we have a high. We'll just do 10,000 and 150. And technically, it could even be bigger than that, because I do remember trading like 12,000 on this, 11,000. So that would be 134,000 Satoshi. Yeah, that sounds too crazy. But you never know with these markets. After all, this happened. Now, I know this coin is used as a currency to play daily fantasy, to play games like poker. And therefore, I know it has use. I have played both the poker and fantasy with this coin. So that's why when I've seen it, like, you know what, I just got to buy it. And I don't own much of it. I own it as a basic amount. I own about 2.5 Litecoin worth of such a coin. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.